What's up guys, welcome back to another brand new video. I'm cross-platform in this video because I've got so many videos to do today, so I apologise if one looks like I'm focusing on the other. I'm going to try and do my best to kind of... I'm recording a IGTV video at the same time with the camera down here, and what you're seeing is going to be on YouTube. So yeah, 6 things we learned about Arsenal Everton. Let's jump straight into it. I think, looking at the performance itself, it wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest spectacle to watch, and to, say be a part of, but not be a part of, but be a part of as a fan. It just wasn't the greatest game. I think we can, majority of the time, most of us agree on what's said and what's done, but as Arsenal fans, it's kind of hard to make excuses in terms of how the team played yesterday. I mean, going 1-0 down in the first minute, not even the first minute, first 30 seconds, I believe. Not ideal in the slightest. And I guess that's probably leading to point number one. Point number one in terms of Arsenal just continuing to start slowly. I don't know what it is. I don't know why whether it's because most of the team that played yesterday played in the Europa League. I believe that's really not an excuse, because at the end of the day, they are all professionals. So, with that kind of being said, it's not really an excuse, but I guess you could call it, and it plays a factor. Maybe not an excuse, but it does definitely factor in terms of how they set up, and obviously why they took so long to start. Showed great resilience and great character, great passion, determination and grit to win the game eventually. But yeah, that's point number one, starting slowly. What's new? I guess that's obviously the way Arsenal do things, and it shouldn't be nothing new, because by now we should probably be accustomed to it, although it is cause for concern massively. So I guess point number one is positive in terms of, and negative also, because the positive being, as I say, showing great determination, passion and character to be able to overcome and be able to get the win, which was obviously a massive 3 points as well. I just feel it's just tiring. I think that, I felt mentally tired after watching that game yesterday. But that might have just been me. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and obviously both IG and YouTube. But point number two, it kind of, has to be, I guess, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. It has to be, he can't go without being mentioned, I guess. Mr. Reliable. The finishes for the 2 goals, great header for the second goal, and what a finish for the first goal. What an amazing goal it was. And that was just, I guess, Thierry-esque. It was, he's got the number 14. He's obviously, he obviously knows of Henry. That goes without saying. And to be quite honest, if it was Henry, obviously Aubameyang is very much in that kind of Henry type player. So yeah, I guess, Mr. Reliable, point number two, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang dragging us out of a proper dire situation. And without him, we would be generally lost. I'm, forever indebted to him this year and years gone by. So anyone that tells you otherwise obviously hasn't watched Arsenal for a fair few seasons. And yeah, that's been point number two. Point number three, again, is individual. I just wanted to give a appreciation to Bernd Leno. I think Leno yesterday was outstanding. Some of the close saves, and he kept us, like they even mentioned on Sky. Obviously Aubameyang deserves the plaudits, and obviously for getting the 2 goals and how he played, albeit attack, midfield and defence. And his all-round game was amazing, but the same definitely can be said for Leno. I think he's just as important in terms of the team, because he's having a solid goalkeeper, which we have in Leno, is definitely pivotal. If you do want to be going places throughout the season. So I think, obviously, that being said, having Leno in goal and being able to, I even said it at the time, being able to get him, being able to poach him away or coax him away from whatever, from Bayer Leverkusen. Great bit of business. I can't stress that enough. And I got slated for it, saying I still this and that. He's still a little bit shaky, this and that. Look at David De Gea's season, his first season at Man United, and look where he is now. I'm not saying Bernd Leno is destined to be as good as De Gea. Who knows? He's still a young goalkeeper, and who knows what the future may hold for him. But yeah, Bernd Leno. Point number 3, I guess. That was, I think, it had to be said because of the performance. He's been consistent and putting in for us, and it kind of sometimes goes unnoticed because he is the goalkeeper, and the defence haven't always had his back. Leading on to, I think, the next point, the next point would be in terms of organisation. I know I said that in the last couple, but I think slowly but surely Arteta's getting his, philosophy and his way of playing, how he wants us to continue to play more consistently, ultimately. And being, albeit, yes, it's going to be a long process. I think everyone knows this isn't going to be fixed overnight, and it's not going to be fixed in a month. It's not going to be fixed within one transfer window. We know this before Arteta started, and Arteta obviously knew himself before he started. Hence the reason why I believe he took the job on, because I think he thinks he's the man, and we all think he's the man. He is the man. End of. That's just it. But the organisation in terms of shoring up the defence, well, you're not conceding all that many. I know you're probably thinking, well, what you're saying? You're not conceding all that many, but you conceded 2 yesterday. Yeah. Well, what's your point? It's kind of, we haven't conceded many goals in the build up to this game. So, that's what I mean in terms of shoring the defence up, being more organised, and you're probably thinking also, the first point was starting slow, but now I'm saying that in point number 4, you're being more organised. Yeah, well, they kind of, in many ways, they go hand in hand, because you've got to become unorganised to become more organised in terms of that, I guess. But, it's definitely, as like I said, a long process. Was not going to be fixed overnight, and was not going to be fixed just within one transfer window. I think in terms of, next year will be the year where we start to see more progress. Like, I know it's stating the obvious, looking to the future, and obviously saying, obviously you're going to be progressing as time goes on, but as the season goes on, you would expect, as he becomes more and more into the job, and obviously gains more and more experience as a manager, as a number 1, and with all his coaching staff around, like Steve Round, etc., all the coaching staff, I think, it's got to be, it's only pointing in the right direction. I don't believe we're now looking below us. I don't think we were ever looking below us in terms of, the league table where we are, but we can only look up. And I think, as Arsene Wenger was pressed, does he, can you write off Arsenal for Champions League football this year? Who knows? No, I don't think you can, in terms of how many games there are left and how many points retrospectively there are up for grabs. I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal went on a mad run like they did, and when that 22 or 20 game unbeaten run. I'm not saying we're going to go 20 games, because there ain't 20 games left, and I'm not saying we're going to go the whole season unbeaten, but or the remaining of the season unbeaten. That's very unrealistic, and I'm not, as I said in the last video, the preview to the Everton game, I predicted 3-1, I believe, and wasn't too far away. I did say it was going to be a very, very hard test. They were very physical yesterday, and I think in terms of the game itself, it probably panned out not as many would have thought, but also just as maybe people would have thought. As many didn't think it was going to pan out that way, to as many that perhaps did. But that being point number 4 is all about, obviously, the organisation, and number 5, it's going to have to be individual again. I keep saying this, and I keep hearing it, that other teams are getting onto Pepe and this and that and whatever, I've got to mention him because I believe we've got a heck of a player on our hands. I think once he becomes more confident and game by game he's showing more and more positive signs in terms of obviously going forward, beating defenders, having them on toast and whatnot. He's showing all the right signs in terms of just being an absolute monster of a player. So I can't wait for that game, that breakout game that he's arguably, some might say he's already had that breakout game. I don't know, but me personally, I think I'm still waiting to see the full potential. You could say he had that breakout game when he scored those 2 free kicks and whatever, but that was almost cometh the man, cometh the hour, or cometh the hour, cometh the man, or whatever. And we needed someone to step up in that game where he scored the 2 free kicks, and he did so, obviously. But I'm still waiting for him to have that real breakout game where everyone starts thinking, like, even other teams are put on watch, and they're all thinking like, right, I don't want to play against Arsenal because they've got their front three and the players that are pushing forward in the midfield, and whatnot. So that's, I guess, point number 5. Individual again, I know, but most of these are obviously, it goes without saying, a combination of team and individuals, and again, I think point number 6 also is going to be individual. I've got to just mention, for the short time that he has been in charge, I mentioned him slightly in a point before, him and his coaching staff, the work that they have done with the current side. They've given the belief back to Xhaka and Mustafi, which, to be fair, I don't think any of us thought was even possible, was even remotely possible. The fans turned on them, they turned on the fans and whatever. Maybe not so much from Mustafi, but we all know the heavily documented issues that Xhaka had with the fans at Crystal Palace, I believe it was, and the home game against Crystal Palace. I think it was, and it has been just a proper resurgence in terms of those two, particularly. I believe those two, if we can continue, I say if they can continue, but if we can continue as a whole, go through the season or through the remainder of the season, and get as many points as we can, who's to say we can't get top 4? I know I'm certainly not ruling it out. I pride myself on being a realist and probably should expect Europa League at best for next year, but who's to say we might not even win the Europa League? I'm not saying we are, so don't even get that twisted. I don't want people in the comments down below saying, oh my God, you're saying you're going to win the Europa League. Have you seen how bad Arsenal are at times? Yes, I have. We've all been through it. We've all been there. Trust me. Anyway, like I said, Instagram, TV, your boys out here, love, peace, and you know the rest. YouTube, subscribe, comment, and leave your thoughts down in the section below. Create a debate. Get involved in the conversation, and your boys out here. Love you guys, and I'm out. Peace.